right here just on YouTube, bringing some type of entertainment right here just for you.
For those of you guys that are new here, my name is Moett, which stands for Motivation Over Everything That Trends. And my mission in life is to help others bring their dreams and goals into reality by giving you the platforms, resources, motivation, and inspiration to do just that. So I have book club each and every Wednesday where I come on wisdom to be able to talk about the book that we're reading, talk about the things from whatever chapter or chapters that we have been reading for the week, and then give you guys a platform to be able to share your thoughts, share your ideas, and different things like that. Now, I know initially we came out of the gate swinging, right? So we're reading Louder Than Words by Todd Henry. And we came out of the gate swinging initially, right? Because part one, chapters 1 through 3, it wasn't too much and different things like that. And then now we're in part two, which is chapters 4 through 6. And as I'm reading, I'm like, holy smacks. This is a lot of reading as far as like the chapters. So what I've decided is to break part two down chapter by chapter. So this past week, I've done chapter 4. Next week, we'll do chapter 5. The week after that, we'll do chapter 6. And then whenever we get into part 3, it's not so thick, it's not so big. So then we'll just be able to do chapters 7 through 9 to be able to go ahead and finish off this book. So we're a couple of weeks away from getting this book completed. Definitely, it's not about racing through the book. It's about actually taking time to be able to get the understanding from the book, to be able to really allow the lessons to be able to resonate with you. Because I don't know if you're like me. If you're like me, if I just rush through something or different things like that, like, yeah, I'll initially get it, but it's not going to stick with me. So I want to make sure that we're taking our time and that we're actually diving into the things that we're learning from this book and different things like that. So today I'm going to go over chapter 4, which I believe in part 2. The reason why these chapters are like, they're much bigger and a lot more pages. I think it's probably like 20 plus pages per chapter within this segment. And it's more so because it's really breaking down and doing a deep dive into the internal work that you need to be able to discover your voice, to be able to really give you insight as to how you can be able to start exploring the things that you need to in order to be able to grow and different things like that. But okay, so chapter 4 in part 2. Part 2 is called The Voice Engine. And in chapter 4, the things that I got in the takeaways is that your work must resonate with others. Be mindful of what you want to communicate and how it will be received by your audience, and how it will affect your audience. For your voice to resonate, it must be rooted in authenticity and uniqueness. A unique, compelling voice isn't about manipulation, it's about influence, which ultimately begins with a firm understanding of yourself and what matters to you. So I'll take a pause right here because basically what it is that you've got to be unique and you've got to be authentic, because so many times we find ourselves like, it's easy to fall into the, oh, just like everybody else and different things like that. But you want to be uniquely you, who you are, because it's so much pressure to be everybody else. And I was recently in a webinar over the weekend where Lisa Nichols was speaking, and she just really zeroed in on the fact of like, you make a watered down version of somebody else, but you make an amazing version of yourself. So it's important to show up as yourself, and that's basically what this is signifying. Like, just show up as yourself, be authentically you. I promise one day I'm gonna learn how to talk and you're gonna be here for it. But be authentically you, show up as yourself. Like, you don't have to be anybody else but yourself. So it's important to be able to find what you want and how you want to convey yourself and how you want to be able to connect with your audience and be consistent in that. But okay, let me get back into the takeaways that I got. So they also had an activity in there as far as writing out a manifesto to convey who you are, what you stand for, and where you're headed. And that provides you guide rails for you as you develop your voice. And it also signifies what change you want to see in the world through your work, what value you want to create, and how will you know that you were successful. Like it's kind of like an anti-resume reflective of where you're headed, not where you've been. So, the three elements reflected in your manifesto should be the who, which is that's your audience. That's the people that you're trying to reach. That's the problems that they are facing that you're going to help them with. And number two, the what. That is the actionable part. And it's basically like the questions are within the book. If you have the book, you're able to go back and answer the questions and different things like that. um and that's basically like what you're going to be doing, to be able to make those changes and make that effect and actually be able to reach those people that you want to reach. And then part three is the why. And it's the reason why you're doing this, what you want to happen as a result of that. And throughout all of this, you have to communicate your passion. Now, the next thing that they go into is being unique means committing to a path. Now, if you try to be effective at everything, you will be effective at nothing. You must choose a path, fully embrace one option, and cut off all other options. You will never develop an authentic voice unless you fully embrace what makes you unique and pursue it boldly. So that's what I was speaking on earlier, as far as like you got to stand in your truth and own who you are, because you can see other people doing the same things and different things like that, because we know there are people out here that do, like, you got 500 t-shirt companies, you got 500 makeup companies, you got 500 freaking whatever company, whatever facet, whatever. You have like tons of people that are doing that in different spaces like that. So you have to do what makes you stand out without compromising your values, without compromising who you are, without compromising what you believe in. But you have to do what makes you stand out. So it's important for those things whenever you're doing that, whenever you're figuring out exactly what your unique voice is. So it's important to be able to have those things, because you got to be you. And you could try to do everything. Like, I've been in a space, I can be a moment of transparency. I can be completely honest. I have previously been in spaces where it's like I'm trying to do everything, right? I'm trying to do everything. I'm trying to be a part of everything. I'm like trying to be supportive, but I had to come to the realization that doing those other things, it wasn't serving me. Not only was it draining me as far as like financially and different things like that, but it was really like draining me because I wasn't pursuing my passion. So I'm showing up in different ways to my audience, and they're like, well, I assume that they're like, well, she's all over the place. Like, what the is going on? You know? So it's important to be able to like really zero in on what you want. And the thing that got me into the space of being able to really zero in on what I want is that I was asked the question, what do you want to be known for? And that really had me thinking, because it's like I wasn't operating in the field of what I want to be known for. I want to be known for motivating and inspiring people and helping people to shift their mindsets and helping people to grow themselves mentally and be in that much of a better space to live a positive lifestyle and different things like that. But I wasn't owning that truth. Prior to actually being asked that question, I wasn't owning that truth. So I really had to sit down with myself and have a one-on-one conversation and Actually, I got help from one of the sisters in my sisterhood to be able to help me navigate through that, to see exactly what I wanted to do, because I was doing all of these other things that wasn't aligned with my purpose. It wasn't aligned with who I truly authentically am. And I'll let you guys know that whenever you start making that shift to really standing in your uniqueness and standing in what you truly want, like, yes, it's gonna be like, yes, I'm doing it. I want this, that, and the third. But it's gonna come those times where it's like you start questioning yourself, where it's like, am I really doing this? Like, I know I was called to do this, but God, is you sure? Is you sure this is what I'm supposed to be doing? Because I feel like, yo, like, what the crap? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you really got to know what you want, who you are, and stand in that truth and allow it to be conveyed from your audience. And then if you're a person like me that your audience have seen you shift from one facet to the other and different things like that, and you actually come to the arrival of knowing exactly what you want, you just have to continue to remain consistent in that what you know your truth is and your authentic voice is, so that way your audience can be able to gravitate towards that. And as they continue to see you showing up consistently, then they'll be like, okay, this is for real. This is the real deal. This is what they're doing, and this is what they're on. So I just want to encourage you to stand in your truth. But anyway, I be getting sidetracked, going on a whole tangent. Let me get back into the key points from chapter 4. So the next segment was to be unique. You got to step out on a branch, and he told a story about this DJ Z Trip, that basically his journey as far as finding his authentic voice and different things like that. Now in this section, Jesus, I will learn how to talk one day, and y'all gonna be here for it. Now, in this section, Z Trip talked about venturing out on a branch to set yourself apart, so much so that others are afraid to follow you. And even if the branch snaps and you fall, that's like a seed being planted that allows a whole new tree to grow. Now, you have to be willing to venture out onto a branch if you want to develop your authentic voice. You have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone. You have to be willing to set yourself apart from everyone else that is in the field doing those things, and just rise above and really take dominance in your field, in your space, in your area, and standing in your truth and standing in your authentic voice, because that's how you're going to be able to set yourself on fire, so to speak. That's how you're going to be able to set yourself on fire and really just start operating in your field. And you just got to stand in that. And as you continue to go out on the branch, then that branch might snap. It might snap. But guess what? Even if you fail, then you know, like, you're on to something, right? You know that, okay, this may have broken it. It may not be going this way, but you know how to get up, dust yourself off, and do it in a different way. Now, finding your branch is a process of going back to who inspired you and taking note of the way you do things that are different from your mentor. Because, in the first part, we talked about like finding mentors and different things like that. Like, you follow success leaves clues. So you go and you look back at what other people have done and different things like that. And then you mimic those things. And within mimicking those things, you find it's important for you to find your avenue of being able to do the things in your own way that resonates and shows you authentically, and allows you to be able to come off as your organic self, creating organic content, really showing up as you want to show up. Now, they also talk about finding a Sherpa, and I tried to look up that definition. I'm not gonna lie. It's SHERPA. And I tried to look up that definition, but the only definitions that I were able to find were like in regards to Himalayan people and different things like that. So I was like, okay. I just went off of the context that they have in the section within the reading. And basically, in this section, a Sherpa is someone who is completely vested in your journey and can be there permanently or just here and there. They're something like an informal mentor and or friend, and they want to see you grow. So this is basically like somebody that you may have crossed paths with, or you may cross paths with, that's like they want to be able to see you win, and they don't mind like sharing a couple of resources. They might not give you everything, because any person that is like on their entrepreneur journey, different things like that, sometimes they're not going to allow you in to receive everything. They'll give you some pieces for free and different things like that. But some people will allow you in just because they you resonate with them, just because you're right along the path with them, and they'll allow you into their space, and they'll give you like some nuggets, some resources, like some brain dumps, different things like that, and really give you stuff to be able to help you continue on your journey of your uniqueness, because they want to see you win. They may give you a book to read or different things like that. Like, take note of those people, and don't feel like those people, don't just disregard those people, because really everybody is a part of our journey, and everybody is a part of our process, whether it's good, whether it's bad, different things like that. But in significance of this chapter, these people that are quote unquote Sherpas, they are, and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. Charge it to my vocabulary, but these people are the people that really, that you cross paths with, and y'all are able to light each other up. Y'all are able to light each other up just by being in each other's presence, and you really want to see them grow. And that could be like, if you see somebody and you see them starting out on a journey, and it's the same journey that you're on, and you know you've went through some trial and error with some different things, and you see them facing that moment and different things like that, and you just have that conversation with them and really encourage them and give them insight as to the things that you have done and how you overcame that. So it's kind of like in a synopsis, that, or it's kind of like just having somebody that they might not even be in the same field, but they can relate to the field that you're in, and they just want to encourage you, and they just want to be able to point you in the right directions and different things like that. So definitely be mindful of those people, value those people, and different things like that. Now, the next thing is identifying. I Jesus. One day I'm gonna learn how to talk, and I promise y'all gonna be here for it. I know I say that all the time whenever I'm talking, but I promise, like for real, because I be like, "Bleh." Now, the next one is identifying your pillars. Now, this is where you identify what makes you stand out and what your true passion is. What changes, if any, should be made, and what you should do more of. Now, this is basically like doing self evaluation. Doing self evaluation of like where you are in your journey, how you got to where you are, where you want to go in your journey, what you need to do to get to where you want. Like, we have to self evaluate ourselves on a consistent basis. You know, like how jobs have like annual reviews or quarterly reviews and different things like that. Like, we need to normalize having reviews of ourselves, having reviews of where we are. Like, if the things that we have been doing aren't working, then we need to shift. We need to create a different avenue and a different way for us to be able to test something else out to see if it's going to be able to give us the results that we want. But you also have to give yourself grace and give yourself time to be able to remain consistent, so that way you could be able to truly see what works, what doesn't work, what you need to do more of, what you need to do less of. Like, really have those moments of self evaluation. And outside of just the self evaluation, also get feedback. Get feedback from your clients. Get feedback from the people that you're serving. Get feedback from those people to see, like, hey, what do you think I should do more of? Like, don't be afraid to ask those questions from people, to be like, hey, what do you think I should do more of. And not just anybody. Like, don't just go randomly asking people, but really ask somebody that you know is going to give a true, unbiased opinion and different things like that. Especially whenever it comes to like clients, you know how they do those customer service surveys and different things like that. Though it's important to be able to have those feedback moments so you're able to get insight from others as to how they feel that the journey is going, how they feel or what they think is going good and what they like about it or what they think should be changed and different things like that. So collectively, you can look at these things and you can notice the pattern. And that will also help you notice like what you do differently that sets you apart from everybody else. And really doing those feedback moments, those self evaluation moments, those are tools to be able to continue to grow you, to be able to make you that much stronger, to be able to propel you that much more forward. Now, the next part and the last part of chapter 4 was outside of the checkpoint because I don't go over the checkpoints. The checkpoints are those moments where you're able to really like do a dive in of going back over the exercises that were within the chapter to really get in tune with that as far as on your journey. But the last segment was running your race. Now, you got to pursue uniqueness with your voice, run your race, execute your plan, do your work, not someone else's. And basically, you've got to trust yourself, your journey, and your process. Stop comparing yourself to others because their story isn't yours. And in order for you to arrive at your destination, you must run your own race. And that is so true because they talk about like a runner running like in a marathon or different things like that. They gave the story of a runner running in a marathon and how the runners got to focus on where they are. Because if they look around, then some people, even though they've trained for this 5K marathon and everything, they see other people that are just like out the gate and then they start trying to keep up with them and different things like that and forget all of their training and different stuff. So it's just important. It signifies the importance of standing in your truth and running your own race, trusting yourself on your journey, on your process as to where you are in your journey right now. Because you can look around you and see everybody else doing good, everybody else doing the most, everybody else just like thriving and different things like that. And then sometimes that will make you feel like, dang, when is it gonna be my turn? Dang, when are things gonna work out for me? And I was actually just having this heart to heart conversation. It's so crazy because I was having this heart to heart conversation with myself yesterday because it was just like whenever you know you're called to be on a path and you're doing things and then you look around and you see everybody else prospering and everybody else doing so great and it's just like dang, I'm ready. Like I'm ready for everything to work out for me. I'm ready for everything to be just like that for me and different things like that. But we have to stop comparing ourselves to other people because we don't know what that person went through to get to where they are right now. We don't know what that person had to endure to get to where they are right now. We don't know the sleepless nights or the early mornings or the time frames that they put in. All we can do is speak from our journey. All we can do is trust our journey, trust our process, and stand in where we are. So we have to be in a place of running our own race, staying true to ourselves, understanding that Rome wasn't built in a day. It won't happen overnight. But if we remain consistent, and we continue to show up for ourselves, for our business, for our clients, for those people that are watching us that we don't even know are watching us, then we're able to get that much closer to where we want to be. We're able to actually continue walking in our destiny. We're actually able to get to the things that we desire and all of that. But we have to run our own race because we can't look at Susan's race over there and think that, oh, our race is going to be just like Susan's race. No, it's not. Because Susan may be able to, ah, David Goggins talk about that this morning too. Because Susan may be able to go from point A to point B just like lickety split. But you may got to go through point A, B, C, go around the corner, take a couple of jumps and a couple of hurdles and slide under a couple of backboards to be able to get to that space. And it doesn't diminish your power. It doesn't mean that you're any weaker than Susan is. It doesn't mean that you're any less than Susan is. It just means that you have to go through things differently. And each and every one of our journeys and our process look different. Things may be smooth sailing for you. Meanwhile, they're not smooth sailing for me. But I also look at those, even those moments where it's like adversity and going through these things, look at those moments as building you up and making you that much stronger, making you that much stronger, putting you that much more in a place of stability, of knowing that, hey, this is me, this is my truth, this is where I am, this is what I'm doing, and I've been called to do this. Like, don't allow those moments of adversity to question yourself. Even though they will make you want to question yourself and different things like that, don't give in to that. Don't give in to that. Don't trick yourself out of your space. Don't trick yourself out of what you're called to do. Don't trick yourself out of the things that you truly want to be able to achieve in life, the impact that you truly want to make in life, because you absolutely have the ability to be, create, and do whatever it is that you want to do in this life, no matter what it may look like right now or how you may feel right now. Even if you're not seeing the results right now, you have the ability to be, do, and create whatever it is that you want to in this life. You just got to keep going. Keep going. Don't allow those moments of adversity to be in vain. Don't allow those moments of adversity to cause you to give up or to quit or anything like that, because you never know that moment. You just got to do one more, and that's gonna be one of the next books for sure, because that's I love that concept as far as doing one more and different things like that. But anyways, chapter 4, louder than words, we've dived into that, different things. um if anybody would like to speak, you definitely can. Outside of that, then I'm about to slide up out of here. But the next week, for the next week, we're going to be reading chapter 5, Louder Than Words by Todd Henry, chapter 5. And then we'll come back here next Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and discuss this. If you haven't already joined the book club, definitely click the link in the bio and join the book club, because it's definitely, we're reading books. This is all about personal development. Majority of the books are going to be free. Some of them you may have to order if you don't already have them somewhere that you haven't paid attention to, and different things like that. It's time to continue elevating our personal development. Elevate our personal development, elevate our mindsets, and just continue to grow and thrive. All right. That's really all I got for you guys today. Remember that life is too short to be anything but motivated. Now get out there and turn your dreams into a vision and make that your reality. I love you guys. See you next week. Bye.